SEC, meantime, says that an announcement about Bitcoin exchange-traded funds yesterday afternoon on its X file, on its X account, was false. In a statement to CNBC, the agency says it's determined that there was unauthorized access to and activity on the @SECGovX.com account by an unknown party for a brief period of time. Joining us right now for more on this is Rebecca Fike. She's a former SEC enforcement attorney, now a partner at Vinson and Elkins. And Rebecca, this is embarrassing to say the very least.
I think that's exactly right. Thank you so much for having me this morning, Becky.
So what happens if another company did this? The SEC, I think, would be all over it, investigating, trying to find out what happens. Who investigates the SEC?
That's a great question. You're exactly right that if this was any public company, the SEC would be immediately opening an investigation. They'd be calling the company's general counsel. They'd be letting them know to retain documents and evidence and asking a lot of questions about how this could happen. With the SEC, I think you're looking at Congress. I imagine will have questions. The DOJ, I imagine, will be involved, although likely looking more at the potential hacker as opposed to, looking at the SEC itself. And since Bitcoin is a commodity, the CFTC could also be involved.
I mean, what's so concerning about this is the agency that's responsible for policing the markets, making sure that there's not this way to manipulate and make or lose money, make other people lose money on this. With the turn of events, somebody pointed out, and this is very clear, this announcement came out, this fake announcement. It wiped out people who used options to short Bitcoin. The SEC immediately retracts it and said that this was a false tweet that had gone out. And then everybody who had used options to go long on Bitcoin loses money, too. What happens?
I mean, it was a market-moving event. I mean, it really underscores how important cybersecurity is, which is one of the things the SEC and Chair Gensler have been speaking about so much. But it also underscores how complicated cybersecurity is and how hard it is to react in a crisis, and how even, I think it was 15 minutes that they believe the hacker had access to the account. In those 15 minutes, approximately $90 million of long and short positions were liquidated on Bitcoin. It's an incredibly important area. And the SEC, I think, got a direct lesson in how challenging an area it is.
In this case, it does not sound like it was X's fault in any way, shape, or form. They said that it was, in their investigation, it wasn't anybody at X or anyone who had access to X's accounts, and that the SEC hadn't even bothered to use the dual-factor authentication in this. But I do have questions about how you can manipulate markets on any social media. You think about it, and there's fake accounts. I mean, we have fake accounts for all of us that circulate around. If something were posted on that and the market moved on some of that news, who'd be responsible?
It would depend, the classic lawyer's answer. Generally, as far as the SEC goes, when a company has an official company feed on any social media channel, that is the one they're going to be held responsible for.
No, but I'm saying if there's somebody who's posing as one of these official accounts or someone else, if it's a troll, let's say, on X or on another social media, who's responsible for that?
I would say the troll is probably responsible for that, but the SEC could ask questions of them because market manipulation is its own.
Is it never going to be the social media? I mean, I just wonder about these things. If we post something wrong on CNBC, I would assume it's CNBC's. Is a social media company ever responsible for any of that stuff, or is it too impossible to police? And you go back to the CompuServe thing where they're just message boards.
I think it would depend on, there's always that reasonableness factor. So, I mean, X does offer two-factor authentication. That certainly seems reasonable. I'm not sure why the government account doesn't have it. I know the gray check marks operate a little differently, but it would look at, who is the most to blame. If there's a social media account that lacks security, then I think the SEC and other potential agencies could hold the social media account.
Let's go back to the SEC issue at hand. What happens if the SEC approves this Bitcoin ETF today or tomorrow? I mean, that just seems like such a crazy timeline to have all of this play out.
It is. And I think, I mean, that's exactly why the market was so primed to react to the false announcement yesterday, because it's expected that that approval might come through today. And I don't know that a hacker getting access to the account means that timeline should change, given what an enormous part of the financial markets they are. But it certainly complicates things.